The Brown family finally faced the heartbreaking loss of Garrison Brown in Sister Wives Season 19, marking one of the series' most painful chapters. I'm genuinely proud of how they handled their overwhelming emotions during such a difficult time. Fans of Sister Wives had been waiting anxiously to see how the show would handle Garrison's tragic passing in Season 19. Although he died in mid-2024, filming had not resumed at that point. Production later picked up again, giving the family space to share their feelings in the immediate wake of the tragedy. The impact of the episode was felt deeply, especially as Janelle Brown bravely opened up about her painful experiences. While some viewers hoped the family could find a sense of closure through the show, others were concerned about whether it could truly support the emotional weight Janelle, Kody Brown, and the rest of the family were carrying while honoring Garrison's memory. Considering Sister Wives has documented most of Garrison's life, it seemed fitting that the cameras would capture Janelle and Kody's difficult reactions, if they felt ready to share them. Fans made it clear they would respect any decision to keep certain aspects private. When I learned the show would pay tribute to Garrison, I felt uneasy. It seemed like it could go either way. At the time I heard about his death, I honestly didn't know what to expect from Sister Wives. Deep down, I hoped the family would be allowed to grieve privately, away from the public eye, because I can only imagine how devastating and painful it was for them. Even though I knew the show would eventually cover the loss, I hoped it wouldn't use the family's suffering merely for the sake of television. It felt necessary to at least acknowledge Garrison's passing. For years, I found myself drawn to the stories of the older Brown children. While I understand that Sister Wives has always focused on following the family through both good times and bad, some of the older kids have chosen to move on once they reached adulthood, while others stayed involved and continued to appear on the show. Garrison always stood out to me for his steady presence, even if he only appeared in a single episode at times. I admired his honesty, so it really shouldn't have surprised me to see him acknowledged so openly. The Browns had some incredibly difficult conversations they didn't shy away from. I was really hoping viewers would get to see those raw, emotional talks in the episode that began honoring Garrison and addressing what had happened within the family. But I never anticipated just how deep and intense those conversations would be. I was stunned by how much the family chose to show on camera, from Janelle's vivid recollection of the day she found out and what unfolded afterward, to Kody's emotional talk with Robin about his feelings surrounding Garrison's death. The raw truth on display made for a powerful and unforgettable Sister Wives episode, one that absolutely deserves credit for its emotional depth and transparency. Watching Janelle Brown's strength in the face of such unimaginable pain was remarkable. Her courage was incredible. I was especially moved by how open Janelle was during her time on screen. While the rest of the family also handled the situation admirably, it was clear that Janelle, Garrison's mother, remains incredibly proud of her son. That pride hasn't faded just because he's no longer here. Along with sharing the pain she carries, which she clearly hasn't kept to herself, Janelle also gave us personal insights into who her son was. I'm truly thankful to her for letting Sister Wives viewers get a glimpse of Garrison through her eyes, and for opening up about their bond in such an honest, vulnerable way. For the first time in a long while, Paedon Brown of Sister Wives broke his silence with a surprising Mother's Day message, and it stirred up some drama. Not every mother was acknowledged this Mother's Day by Paedon. Paedon Brown, one of the stars of Sister Wives, shared an unexpected post on social media. Growing up in a polygamous household alongside his siblings and 4 mothers, Paedon was always determined to chase his own goals, despite the challenges that came with such a complex family dynamic. He had a close bond with his biological mother, Christine Brown, and shared meaningful moments with several other family members. However, As Sister Wives Season 19 revealed, Paedon also clashed with certain relatives, including his father, Kody Brown. His relationship with Robin Brown, Kody's fourth wife, was especially strained. Paedon has often hinted that Robin played a part in the tensions within the family. Recently, Paedon made a much-anticipated return to social media, and he didn't hold back. In an Instagram story that sparked debate, he appeared to shade Robin once again. A video shared by @JohnYates327 TV shows Paedon wishing a happy Mother's Day to almost every mother out there, with noticeable emphasis on almost. He added with a smirk, "Because I'm a BSTR muncher sometimes," clearly aware of how provocative the line was. The smile on his face suggested he might have been half joking, but fans were left confused by the tone of the message. Although he didn't name Robin directly, the implication was obvious. He later added, "I'm not throwing any shade. I just thought it was a funny thing to say." But for many viewers, it was clear that Robin was the one mother he purposely excluded. Paedon still seems unsettled when it comes to Robin. Even if his comment was meant to be humorous, it reflected his ongoing frustrations. Given his history of criticizing Robin, it's likely he thought the pointed remark would come off as clever or amusing, perhaps even as an inside joke for Christine, Mary, and Janelle. At 26 and now living in North Carolina, Paedon probably knew exactly what kind of reaction his comment would trigger. Leaving out a Mother's Day wish for Robin was no accident. He made sure people noticed. Though Paedon stays in regular contact with his mother and some of the other sister wives, his recent Mother's Day comment, while meant to be lighthearted, spoke volumes about how he still feels about Robin. By making it very clear that he wasn't including her in his greeting, Paedon revealed that his resentment toward Robin remains strong. He likely still harbors bitterness over the belief that Robin played a role in driving a wedge between him, his siblings, and their father. Over the years, Paedon hasn't held back in expressing his disapproval of the relationship between Robin and Kody. He probably believes that the family might have remained more united had Robin not entered the picture when she did. So, what do we make of Paedon intentionally excluding one mother from his message? It's obvious that he feels more animosity toward Robin than Mary. Even if he didn't explicitly name her, Robin was likely the person he had in mind. His close bond with Janelle and her children, especially after she moved to North Carolina, along with his deep relationship with his own mom, Christine, shows just how committed he still is to the family he grew up with. Though he may not follow Mary on Instagram or keep in touch with her, Paedon likely understands what it feels like to be hurt by the dynamics of a plural family. His subtle swipe at Robin came across as a quiet reprimand for the role she's played in shaping the current state of the Brown family. The most recent chapter in the long-running Sister Wives saga unfolded with a level of raw emotion and seriousness rarely seen before. The season placed a heartbreaking loss at its center as the Browns finally addressed the death of a beloved son. Each family member was allowed to share their grief and their memories in their own voice and in their own time. The way the show handled this emotional turning point with sincerity and sensitivity resonated deeply with longtime viewers. Fans have been with this family through every argument, milestone, and joyful celebration. But nothing could have prepared them for the sorrow that came with watching the Browns navigate the tragic loss of a young man who had grown up before their eyes. Once the cameras started rolling again, it was evident that a conscious decision had been made to honoring the life of a cherished son with sincerity and emotional depth, not drama, became the guiding focus. Production had been paused in the midst of the tragedy, allowing space for the family to grieve before resuming, As someone who's followed the Brown family's story over the years, hearing about the young man's death brought a sense of personal sorrow. I questioned whether something so intimate should even be addressed on camera. There was genuine concern that the heartbreak might be misunderstood, or worse, exploited. Reality TV often walks a fine line between authentic emotion and spectacle. But what unfolded was handled with far more grace and dignity than I had anticipated. It was the young man's mother who especially made the choice to be fully present, emotionally and in tribute. Her willingness to speak openly about her son added a level of authenticity the series hasn't often reached. She revisited the day she heard the news and reflected on the painful days that followed, all while highlighting their strong bond. Her reflections resonated deeply because they felt unfiltered and sincere. The father, her former partner, also ventured into emotional territory, even though he's often been viewed as a divisive figure on the show. In this episode, he allowed himself to be vulnerable. Speaking candidly with those closest to him, he shared his internal battles, ranging from heartbreak and disbelief, reflecting not only the sorrow they felt, but also the distance that had quietly grown between them over time. It prompted raw, at times difficult, conversations, ones that didn't feel scripted or controlled. Family members talked through grief, guilt, love, and everything in between. Of course, the tribute episode wasn't without its emotional weight. Viewers witnessed the heavy presence of unspoken words and unhealed wounds, and the intricate nature of family ties became even more pronounced through the shared weight of grief. As the Brown family came together to honor the memory of the one they had lost, every photo served as a quiet reminder of his absence. His energy, his laughter, his thoughts were sorely missed. Yet the episode wasn't solely defined by mourning. It was equally shaped by remembrance. They exchanged stories, some tender, others unexpectedly humorous. Through pictures, video clips, and whispered recollections, they reconstructed the essence of a life lived with meaning, even if its time was brief. By allowing each person to share their perspective, the family created a collective portrait of their son and brother, letting the narrative of their loss be one of shared reflection, not just sorrow. The mother, in particular, displayed extraordinary strength. There is something uniquely powerful in a grieving parent's quiet resilience. Her face carried the weight of her pain, but her voice echoed with both sorrow and joy. She spoke of his dreams, his gentle spirit, and his perseverance. In doing so, she transformed what could have been a mournful episode into a luminous tribute, a moment that rekindled her son's light in the hearts of those watching. Having followed the Brown family's journey for so many years, I found this episode deeply moving. It carried a reverence and stillness rarely captured in televised portrayals of loss. It didn't feel artificial or designed for ratings. Instead, it felt like a heartfelt offering from a family still holding on to love and humanity, despite the chaos and the conflicts they've faced. The show's producers also deserve recognition for their sensitive handling of the material. The pacing was gentle and deliberate, allowing space for silence where it mattered. There was no excessive dialogue or dramatic soundtrack forced over key scenes. The quiet moments were allowed to breathe, giving viewers time to reflect with the family and to absorb the emotional weight of each word. Even those whose bonds have been frayed in past seasons appeared united, if only briefly. Grief has a strange way of pulling people together. It cuts through superficial disagreements, reminding us of what truly matters, forces one to confront what truly matters. In this profound moment, connection took precedence over conflict. For perhaps the first time in a long while, the family appeared to genuinely hear one another. The tribute also involved the young man's siblings, some of whom have intentionally stepped away from the spotlight. Their quiet contributions through memories, home videos, and heartfelt messages added richness to the collective remembrance. These segments served as a powerful reminder grief manifests differently for everyone, and often, the softest voices carry the deepest echoes. These moments were especially touching. It's impossible to encapsulate an entire life within a single episode, but the family's attempt felt sincere. They didn't try to smooth over the pain or present a sanitized version of loss. Instead, they embraced the complexity, trusting that viewers could handle the raw truth. And we could. The audience responded with overwhelming compassion. In the days following the episode's airing, social media platforms and online forums overflowed with condolences, gratitude, and shared grief. Many viewers thanked the family for allowing them to witness such a deeply personal chapter. Others opened up about their own losses, turning the episode into a bridge for a broader community of mourning and healing. This season will likely be remembered not for the usual drama or evolving relationships, but for this profound moment of authenticity. It marked a shift, a movement from conventional reality television into something more meaningful, a human story, laid bare. It reminded us that in even the most public lives, sacred and private truths can still be honored. Amid this emotional backdrop, Paedon Brown, known for his candor and unfiltered take on his family's intricate dynamics, sparked a new wave of attention with a social media message. As someone raised in a polygamous household, Paedon's life has been far from ordinary. With multiple mothers and a complex web of relationships, his understanding of family has always been layered and deeply personal. Growing up in a polygamous household with multiple mother figures, including his own mother, Christine Brown, Paedon's experience of family life has always deviated from what most would consider traditional. Despite maintaining a close bond with Christine, Paedon's relationships with other members of the Brown family, especially Robin Brown, his father Kody Brown's fourth wife, have been marked by tension. Robin's entry into the family is widely believed to have contributed to the growing fractures in the once tightly knit clan, something Paedon has never hesitated to criticize. After a long period of online silence, Paedon re-emerged on social media with a tweet that quickly went viral. Using the occasion of Mother's Day, he offered a seemingly inclusive message. Happy Mother's Day to almost every mother out there. It was the word almost that caught attention and left fans scratching their heads. Though Paedon didn't name names, the implication was unmistakable to those familiar with the family's dynamics. The exclusion felt deliberate, and many interpreted it as a slight directed at Robin. What added to the intrigue was Paedon's tone. Delivered with a cheeky smile and a lighthearted demeanor, he later claimed the comment was meant to be humorous. Yet, body language and timing told a different story. The public explanation that no shade was intended only deepened the mystery. If anything, it seemed like a backpedal after realizing the stir it caused. The cryptic nature of the post and Paedon's playful yet pointed delivery opened the door to endless interpretations. Paedon has been vocal in past interviews and social posts about how he perceives Robin's influence on the family, often casting her as a divisive presence who contributed to the estrangement between the siblings and their father. Even now, living independently in North Carolina, Paedon's words and actions show that these wounds haven't fully healed. It's possible that the message was more than just a joke. It was, in some ways, a subtle but powerful reminder of unresolved pain and lingering resentment. Whether or not he intended it to be read that way, the fact that so many interpreted it as a dig says a lot about the underlying dynamics still at play in the Brown family. Paedon Brown's now infamous Mother's Day message wasn't just a casual remark. It was a veiled expression of deep-seated emotional conflict, and it offered viewers and longtime fans a rare glimpse into the unresolved pain still lingering within the Brown family. Paedon was born into a polygamous family where loyalty, love, and attention were divided among multiple mothers and many children. While this dynamic has been central to the family's public story, Paedon has never shied away from speaking about the challenges that came with it, particularly as his father, Kody Brown, shifted focus onto his relationship with Robin Brown. When Robin entered the Brown household, Paedon's already strained relationship with his father began to worsen. Over time, Paedon has publicly criticized Kody for prioritizing Robin and her children, often at the emotional expense of his relationships with his other wives and children. For Paedon, the imbalance was more than just favoritism. It became a source of emotional abandonment. According to him, this shift in Kody's attention was one of the primary causes of the distance he now feels from his father. On Mother's Day, Paedon returned to social media with a post that quickly gained attention. "Happy Mother's Day to almost every mother out there." Delivered with a cheeky grin and what some interpreted as playful sarcasm, the post sparked immediate speculation. While Robin wasn't mentioned by name, many felt the "almost" was a clear dig at her, especially considering Paedon's past criticisms and the visible family fractures she's often been associated with. Despite Paedon's insistence that he wasn't throwing shade, it was evident to many that his message carried emotional weight. It wasn't an accident. His hesitation to include Robin wasn't just a joke. It was a deeply personal acknowledgement of his unresolved feelings toward her and the role she played in altering the family dynamic. Paedon has made strides in building his own life away from the limelight, now living independently in North Carolina. But his emotional scars from the past remain visible.
That's what I guess I don't understand.
His Mother's Day message, though short, revealed how much the family's breakup, particularly the growing distance from his father, continues to affect him. At the heart of Paedon's message was a tension between loyalty and disappointment. His relationship with his biological mother, Christine Brown, has remained strong. But his open disapproval of his father's other marriages, particularly with Robin, has been a consistent thread in his public commentary. Over the years, Paedon has expressed that his emotional well-being was increasingly neglected as his father became more focused on a single branch of the